Yeah. Good evening, everybody. Nnamdi Kanu has been summoned, emergently, on an emergency court. Someone, even his barrister, NYAKO, has actually come out and made give a press conference that federal government just summoned Nnamdi Kanu, an impromptu, move that actually defines, what much speculations and much worries, much phone calls from all angles of our life, to Asurok to make sure that they freed an innocent man, MAZI Nnamdi Kanu. So tomorrow being 10th February, Nnamdi Kanu is summoned to appear in the court by federal government of Nigeria, and this has given many Igbos in diaspora and the local, locally, such hope that Kanu will actually be set free tomorrow. So every Igbo man, Igbo youth, Igbo elderly, all the Ohanese, members who have been, putting pressure to make sure that the innocent man has been set free, in the past. Everybody is just hopefully believing that tomorrow is going to be the final hearing of MAZI Nnamdi Kanu's case. This is a man who was, set free during Buhari regime. That no law, no case, no local law, Nigerian constitution, let me say, session has been, contravened by the IPOB, supreme leader, MAZI Nnamdi Kanu. So tomorrow we are hopefully believing that MAZI Nnamdi Kanu should be set free. And this has been, a sequence to what's been, going on in Finland right now, when Finland has just made it, upon themselves. They actually, have been pranking Nigerian government to succumb, because it's obvious that Finland is making jest of federal government of Nigeria, a country that has been, subjected to this kind of inhumanity of man against man, a country that has been, disobeying the court, thereby committing court contempt in the past during the previous administration of Muhammadu Buhari. And currently we've seen a Southerner whose brother Sunday Igboho has been accused of same crime that Nnamdi Kanu is involved, presently incarcerated. And this man, TINUBU, being a highly tribalized and ethnicized man, freed his own brother Igboho, and it was the same freedom fight, let me say just freedom fighting, or the same freedom fighter Igboho is MAZI Nnamdi Kanu. And it baffles every body that hears it. It baffles even ILO, International Labour Organization, international human rights organizations, that the same man was freed, while same person that has been agitating and calling for referendum, emancipation of his own sovereignty, that's Biafra, is still many months now left behind, languishing in jail, in confinement at DSS facilities. So we are hopefully believing tomorrow that TINUBU will actually do the needful, because he's the one that is detaining Nnamdi now. Nnamdi is not under the umbrella of the law or Nigerian constitution. It's obvious that the constitution has actually set him free. Constitution is the law, the customs according to which any country is governed. It is obvious. I got the definition. But today we actually see an executive department of government that is actually making the law. They are the one that is legislating, actually flaunting it as well. They flout the law that the legislative has made. And then again, the interpretation of law is left for the Department of Judiciary to explain the constitutional review of this country. But TINUBU's department, the Department of Executive, says no. The office of Asurok, office of the Presidency of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, is detaining an Igbo man simply because we are highly subjected to marginalization since the end of Nigerian Biafra civil war. Today, everybody is hopefully believing that tomorrow, MAZI Nnamdi Kanu is going to let off the cage. It is very, very unnecessary to actually understand that some person are saying that the court that, you know, they prescribes him, they prescribe him, or, you know, let him off the hook previously, is a local court. That the highest court is court of the federal court. Which one is federal court and which one is local court? Obi won an election, you know, and the PDP, you know, juggernauts actually rigged him out in 2023, and in 2025, Obi went to Enugu High Court and claimed what, you know, belonged to him. That was when Apuga, in the history of this country, for the first time won an election in Anambra State. And Ngige was the person of interest of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. They gave it to Ngige. After rigging it, Obi, as a resilient man, you know, went to court with all his points and the evidences. Ngige was booted out of office in 2025. Same thing is going on now. Some persons, I learned that, not even I learned, I watched the program at, you know, on TVC. A Yoruba man is still claiming right that the court that is holding Nnamdi Kanu is a federal court, that Kanu won his case as a result of, you know, the jurisdiction of the court that gave it to Kanu doesn't, you know, respect the competence or jurisdiction of the case. I wonder where this lawyer is getting his own case. Yoruba lawyers now waffle, now Yoruba politicians now waffle, now claiming right when the whole world is saying is wrong. We are saying is right. Who the hell do you think you are? Can a tree make a forest? It is uncalled for that we have this kind of, you know, let me say, double standard man or man in the southwestern Nigeria. I was observing and watching TVC that day. Had it been I could have my way, maybe I was there. Could it be? I would have told him right on his face that he is a bigot. If Igboho could be in the position of Nnamdi, Igboho would have gone free since. Let me tell you, you are marginalizing the Igbos, and no matter how you do it, this time around, Nnamdi Kanu's case has actually attracted the international community, you know, criticisms all over the world, all over the angles, corners of the whole continent of the earth. You are wrong. You are holding a freedom fighter, and the freedom fighter has his right to fight. In the USA, in their constitution, there is referendum. In Nigeria constitution, there is referendum. If you like, connive with the Fulanis and strike it out, amend this constitution, delete it out overnight. Let me tell you, there is international law that supersedes the national law, local laws, Nigerian laws. Listen and listen good. According to international jurisprudence, a man, anybody from any region that feels that his region is being trampled on or marginalized has the right to see the way from such contraption. Nnamdi Kanu is having his way. This time around, hopefully, we are believing that Nnamdi Kanu should be set free tomorrow. Come what may, or you allow Donald Trump to play his African policy. Presently, he promised African continent that is going to fight for the freedom fighters who have been over-marginalized, who have been incarcerated, you know, illegally, outside the umbrella of international law. If Nigeria is claiming that they have their law, the constitution, that is Nigeria is a sovereign state, let me tell you, United Nations organization, the whole member nations, they supersede what Nigeria represents. When they say no, Nigeria cannot say no. Nigeria is among United Nations, and they can never play, you know, illegality outside the context of the objectivities of United Nations organization. Provided we are among that platform, that umbrella, we must imbibe, we must obey, we must play by the rules. Such an engagement is illegality totally. What Nigeria has indulged on since 2015 is at least a political party platform, APC, that is bent on delivering injustice to all Nigerians, annihilating Nigerians, oppressing Nigerians, marginalizing Nigerians, exploiting Nigerians. This is, you know, in its entirety, a mess, legal mess. We are not getting what we actually are supposed to get in Nigeria. Good dividend of democracy? Yes. Nothing is being given to Nigerians. What we actually bargained is is a true democracy, a democratic dispensation that all Nigerians should at least enjoy. But today, we see people that just wake up and tell you, subsidy removed. Where is the money for the subsidy? Realized from subsidy? If actually the money for subsidy has been realized in a way that all Nigerians should benefit from it, we shouldn't have been having epileptic, what do you call it, power supply. Actually, we know that in Nigeria there's no water. If you build your house, keep your money for borehole. If you don't, let me tell you, you will actually, be, scrambling for water, because Nigerian government, from state to federal level, is not ready to give you water. Oh, all the houses in Lagos, everywhere you go, you see people, sunk borehole for their houses, for the tenants, for the landlord and landladies. They are not delivering at all. If you ask me, I said, why is it that we don't have military government? Military government is the best, because they decree, they tell you this is what we want, and you must imbibe, you must obey, you must play along with the military. But today we see a civilian government that is more than barbarian government. What is the meaning of civilian? What is the meaning of military, administration? Military administration, if you ask me, it is far, far better. We know actually how Abacha, ruled as a military head of state. We know actually how Ibrahim Babangida ruled Nigeria for 8 years as a military man. It was better. Life was very, very amiable, friendly then more than now. What are we going through is worse than any military administration that has come and gone in Nigeria. Nnamdi Kanu should be free. Kanu is just there because he's an Igbo man. Nobody cares what an Igbo man is going through in Nigeria. Look at what happened recently in Ebonyi State. Many families were disallowed, pied, and demised. And nobody's talking about those families, compensation or whatever. TINUBU administration doesn't know about it. He doesn't want to do anything about it, because Dave Umar is there to rubbish Igbo man. Nwafulu, the governor of Ebonyi State, is there to build mosque and vote 500 million for people that are going for Hajj. Muslims that are going for Hajj. Is an Igbo man. Igbo man, I don't know when you begin to, be Muslim or practice Islam. It's because we have this Igbo North of a thing in Ebonyi State. Igbo North in Ebonyi State. They have succeeded on at least Islamizing almost 60% of Afipo people, building the largest mosque so far in Nigeria. Go and do your research. Fulani want to Islamize Igbo, southeastern Nigeria by all means. Come what may, they want Igbo man to join the chorus of Islamization. But it's very, very impossible. That's why Nnamdi Kanu actually educated everybody in the north, in the mid-belt, in Igbo land, in Yoruba land, that these people, there will be a time they will come out from the bush, all they're hiding, tent, they pitch in the bush, welding AK-47, AK-49, and nobody should ask them why. Because they are in charge of the Constitution. That's what I mean, the Department of Judiciary. They are in charge of the Office of the Presidency. I mean the Department of Executive. And even the lawmakers, they are majority there. These are visitors that have succeeded on suppressing, marginalizing, exploiting their Hausa counterparts. The Hausas are the host. The land belongs to the Hausas. But Fulani at least still deceived them, exploited them, marginalized them, and took over their land 200 years ago. Where are we going from here? Igbo man only is at the painful receiving end. Nnamdi Kanu is in pain, if you ask me. He has people, many billionaires in Nigeria are from the southeastern Nigeria, yet they are not sensitive about this young man's, ordeal. If you ask me, Fulani's juju, spell, voodoo is working against the so-called largely Christian-dominated southeastern region. Because if we wake up and stand up on our feet, I don't think Fulani is up to match to Igbo man, no matter how they do it. Okay, look at the Igbo senators in the house there. They are Igbos, well-read, they're well-educated, they are all intellectual, superiority over their northern counterparts. Still, yet, they could not do anything in the house. They are there enjoying their money, aligning with their Fulani counterparts, siphoning public funds, especially allocation going down to southeast, without even coming up with any suggestion of developing that region, at least providing environment, let me say, employment environment for the youth over there to be engaged on one thing or the other. But what they do is just cutting away millions, aligning with our enemies, making money for their families. And when a senator, a lawmaker is being disallowed or pied, everybody will be yelling, IPOB, IPOB. There are criminals in the southeastern Nigeria. There are criminals in the north, everywhere. The northern oligarchs, the elites in the north, the political big dudes, let me use that name, big dudes, are behind insurgents. They are behind bandits. They are behind headers. But they don't want to tell you the truth. They are hiding the truth. If actually they are not behind the headers, Boko Haram and bandits, it wouldn't have lasted for 7 days. They will all be what? Annihilated. Let me use the word. I could remember vividly in 1983-84, when Metasena, a particular Islamic sect from the angle of Adamawa and the Cameroon forests, he rose up. He stood against Babangida's administration. He was spying soldiers, spying mobiles, spying police, spying civilians in 1984, beheading people, until Buhari, Babangida administration said enough is enough. Under 4 days, the head of Metasena was apprehended, and the mobile police, being very active and most powerful military force in Nigeria then, arrested him and neutralized him under 4 days. If a government of any country is allowing insurgents to last more than 1 week in that country, I'm telling you, the insurgency, the terrorists, the orchestrator of such criminalities, there is official, structures, federal structures behind such insurgents. Official or federal structures are behind Boko Haram, bandits, Lakrowa, ISWAP, Fulani headers in the north. There's official connivance, federally, with these crooks in the north. Without what? Chief goal, aim, where they are at least channeling their grievances to. Boko Haram will have no reason to tell us that they want to Islamize Nigeria. Boko Haram will have no reason to tell us they are fighting just to carve out a particular region from Nigeria, because they are not fighting for freedom. They are fighting for religious means. It's not very, very, legal. Constitutionally, it is not gazetted in the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria that a particular sect, religious sect, will one day evolve or just, spring up to fight for Islamization of this country. What I know that is possible is the goal, the reason the Niger Delta militants were fighting for before, during our Obasanjo regime. These people were demanding for compensation, bordering on degradation of their land. Oh yes, spare, Goni land. Yeah, that's the point. And they actually understand. I know that Yar'Adua would have been the best Nigerian president. He understood what the militants, Niger Delta militants, were fighting for. He gave it to them, amnesty. He blessed them. He started paying them money. Yeah. But Fulani man does not understand it that way. He will just roll out battalions of soldiers, go down to Niger Delta creeks and, and make sure that the whole militants, the whole people that are asking for their rights be annihilated. Thank you so much. We are hopefully believing that Nnamdi Kanu will let off the hook tomorrow, 10th February 2025 at the court. Good night.